Hey there, it's Carrie here, and here is a resource that I've shared previously, but recently one of my students who is now teaching on Cambly let me know that he's had a couple of his students on the platform request that they use this online resource for some of their lessons. Now, many of you know that Cambly is like a login and talk type platform, so it's predominantly geared towards conversational English, and that Cambly also provides its own learning materials. So for a student on Cambly to request that it go to a different platform to do some learning is something that indicates to me that there must be something worth looking at going on here. So let's take a look. This is called Ingu, like English, Ingu. And this is their English page. So you can see right here that if I click down, this is Chinese, Japanese, and Korean materials. So you know that this platform is geared towards an Asian student market. Not to say that you can't use it in other places, but as you click through here and move around, you'll see the sort of where this originated from. But you can use this with many levels of students. So let's just take a look. We're going to explore this a little bit. So here you have level 1 all the way up to what they designate as level 10. They have 3 sort of intermediate levels for beginner, intermediate, then they have 2 for advanced and 2 for proficient. What I like about this site is that you can, when you know the level of your student, you can go ahead and adjust this to eliminate, let's say you have an intermediate to maybe like pre-advanced type of student. You can eliminate the outliers that aren't going to be appropriate for that particular student. And as I did so, you saw that the available lessons here changed. So it's it does look like it's made for kids because of the graphics and everything, but once you get in here you'll see that it's not. So I went to this one describing pictures, just playing around and checking this out, and you can see that this one has for anywhere between intermediate 4, which is lower intermediate, all the way up to pre-advanced type of lessons. So you only see a few here. These are the intermediate ones. These are the more advanced ones. Let's say you're working with an intermediate student. You can also, there's 47 more topics here. So let's just take a look at one of these. I'm going to pick lesson 3, a happy moment. That sounds nice, doesn't it? This is intermediate. Remember, we're describing pictures. So here is a happy moment, family cooking. So describe the picture below. Click the helpful vocabulary section if you need help. So this is why I assume students are wanting to use this platform when working with teachers, because this is something that they have access to. It's absolutely free, and a student can go on here in their own free time and practice. So using it when you're working with a one-on-one tutor is a great way to say, hey, I was struggling the other day when I was playing on this by myself. Can we go to this lesson and can you help me with the pronunciation of this? Or can you describe this to me? Now, the platform itself does a really great job of describing and giving the pronunciation. So let's just come down here. Kitchen. Not such an easy word to say for non-native English speakers. So the first thing that you notice is if you click on kitchen, it will pronounce it for you or for the student. So I'll just do that so you can have a listen.
Kitchen.
Okay. Then it gives a picture, which you can click on the pictures and you can see the pictures. They will blow up bigger so that your student can see them. You can maybe even describe what's going on in each one of these scenes here. And then when you click on this little sound icon, it will say the entire sentence.
I want to live in a house with a big kitchen.
Okay. It has the phonetic spelling as well. There are different Poor is also, I mean, even in English speaking, they people pronounce poor differently. I'm going to pour myself a pour, or pour if you want to make the U a little bit more distinct. I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee.
Pour.
Pour, okay? It tells that it's a verb, and then there are a couple of examples here. Now, you can scroll down, lots of different things. Somebody getting flowers, also a happy moment, getting a head massage. And that's it. So there's just three things here in this happy moment. But you can always go back and choose another one. So this might be a fun and interactive way for you to interact with your students. Obviously, you're on the Zoom call or whatever. You might need to call up your screen. They might need to call up their screen so that you can do this together. This might also be something that you introduce your students to, because this represents a value add. They're probably not going out there online looking for these types of resources themselves. But if you were to introduce them to something like this is a huge value add for you as a teacher. You're not just giving them lessons when that you're seeing them, you're introducing them to fun, interactive ways that they can continue to learn outside of your lessons. And don't think that this is going to make them not want to work with you or eliminate you from their lives. They're just going to want to work with you even more because maybe you have other really great ideas for ways that they can continue to learn outside of the time that they have with you. And this is also a great way to sort of preload your next lesson. Let's say that you know that they're struggling with a certain vocabulary. I saw one on here somewhere that was about business. Here we go. So let's say you're working with a business student, somebody who wants to learn workplace English, for example. Here are business calls. So you can come onto here and say, okay, so next week, we know that we want to be really working with how to, take an appointment on the phone or something like that. If you want, in the meantime, I mean, certainly assigning homework is not for every student. Some students will want to do it, other students, not so much. But you could introduce them to this platform and say, if you want, in the meantime, to prepare for our next lesson, get a little bit of extra practice, you can go on to Ingu and you can do a little bit of fun exercises over there. So this says, read the dialogue aloud with your teacher. This is already queued up for you. You don't have to go writing your own examples, or, this is a great introduction. Then you can start to nail down, okay, now tell me what a scenario might be within your job. This is just practice for us to start breaking the ice and getting the flow. Now let's start to use words that incorporate your business, your industry, things that you would be asking your clients and booking calls. Lots of different calls here. So you can see that not every single one of these lessons is the same. How to make a business phone call. Here's a short description on how to do that. Then there's a discussion. So it really just depends on the level of proficiency of each student. You can see that this is intermediate 6, the other was intermediate 4. So we're getting more complexity built into each one of these lessons as we work up the proficiency scale. So super interesting, super fun. Students are asking for it. Now you know about it too, and you can introduce your students to it, or you can use it in a class yourself. And I hope this is helpful for you. And please, if you find anything like this that you think that other teachers might want to know about, let me know. And I want to say thanks to Rod, who reached out and told me he was using this with one of his students.